Hi, it's Tammy, NZ Gastric Sleeve. I wanted to come on and do a video about the 10 things that I won't miss about being obese. So this is the first of a few different videos that I'm going to be making around now that I've got a surgery date. Sorry, I just have to point out I do realise how often I say in my videos, and I'm really sorry. I try not to, but just happens. So it is Easter Sunday, the 20th of April. So my surgery is on the 21st of May, so it'll be a month tomorrow, which is creeping up a lot quicker. Now that I've got a date, so that's pretty awesome. So this Easter really has been my last weekend of kind of eating what I want, and that's kind of taken the shine off of food a little bit. So that's quite interesting. But so I'll start on the OptiFast diet in 10 days, and from Tuesday I'll be kind of just having a healthier week, so my body doesn't go into shock and going on to the OptiFast. So currently I'm sitting at, I weighed in yesterday morning at 108.4. Now what that means for me is 53.19% body fat, so it's really high, and a BMI of 42.9. I'm 159 centimeters or 5'2" and a bit. So yeah, I'm kind of short. That in pounds is 239 pounds. Now, from my highest that I'm going to track as far as this journey was 113.6 kgs, which is 250.4 pounds. I have been higher. My highest weight was about 2.5 years ago, and that was at 119 kilos, which would be about 265, I think. Sorry, I didn't work that out, but about 265. So it's I have lost some weight within that time. Part of it in going through this journey, it has been, by the time I have surgery, it'll be almost a year from when I first went to the information evening, and 2 years from when I had the first referral from the doctor. So basically it was a year on a waiting list, but the good thing about that is the surgery is free to me, so I'm not having to shell out money, and neither is my insurance. I do have insurance, but insurance doesn't cover the full amount in New Zealand. It covers between a quarter and a third, so that was still a lot of money that I'd have to come up with, and no doubt have to get a loan. And we're not long bought the house that we live in. It would be almost 2 years now, but within that kind of time frame, at the time I went on the list, we were living at my brother-in-law's, and yeah, not really in a position. So yeah, so that's kind of where the starting point is. I have been taking measurements periodically. I will take measurements the night before I start on my pre-op diet and the night before surgery, and then I'm going to do measurements monthly from there as far as the format of what my videos will take. But this video is around the 10 things that I won't miss about being obese, and I'm going to go backwards. So number 10. Not being able to find boots that fit, and I'm talking knee boots. So we're coming into winter. I haven't really worn knee-high boots. When I can find them that have got the bigger calves, they just don't look good right on me because my calves are not symmetrical. So basically I've got my leg and then my calf is kind of out one way, so out the outside part of my body. So when I do wear boots that are made for the bigger calves, I end up with this big kind of overhang of leather right at my knee, and it just doesn't look good. So being able to wear normal boots, normal knee-high boots, it will be super exciting. And so I'm going from backwards, so from 10 down to 1. So these are the lesser kind of things. So following on from that, expensive clothes. So if you guys have watched my previous video about Dubai and my clothing haul, I talked a little bit about New Zealand's choice as far as plus sizing, and it's very limited. And while you can get it in the cheaper stores, it's not nice stuff. So I do most of my shopping at City Chic, and so we're talking about $150 New Zealand dollars for a dress, $80, $90 for a skirt, $100 for pants. So quite pricey, and I'm a big shopper. So those two little bags there, I cleaned out my closet today. I haven't done my drawers yet, that's tomorrow, but that's just out of my closet, and basically I went through things that I wouldn't wear in the next kind of 3 months. So either things that will be too big for me, are too big now, there was a few things like that, and things like summer stuff. I'm never going to get back into them. Summer has well and truly passed us. So yeah, 2 bags just out of my closet, and it really doesn't look like there's been much of a dent made in the closet. So expensive clothes. Also, kind of following on from that, number 8 is feeling that I don't belong in stores. So in the times that I have walked into normal size stores, there's just this, partly it's what you put on yourself, but partly it is the shop assistants. It's just the feeling like you don't belong in there, and that you just shouldn't shop there. And it's kind of like that, oh, what are you doing here? Why are you shopping here? You won't fit anything here. And certainly I've noticed it more when I've gone out shopping with friends. When I go out shopping with friends that are in that kind of normal range, you walk into the store, they're all over you. Well, not over me, they're over them. So that's kind of the feeling that I'm really looking forward to getting rid of. More recently, I have been fitting into 18s in some of the normal size stores, and so, but you still get that kind of look as if, what are you doing here? So that makes you not want to shop there, which is why I'm still shopping at plus size stores. But I know that that's not going to last for too much longer, because my shop that I go to only goes down to a 14, so I've only got 2 sizes before that, and I really refuse to pay that much money, $150 for a dress that I might wear 2 or 3 times. So yeah, really refuse to kind of shop there, not because I don't like the stuff, but because I just need to shop a little bit cheaper in the meantime. Number 7, my cycle being completely screwed. So sorry boys. Prior to the information evening, I probably had my period, it's every second month if I was lucky. It was just completely all over the place. Up until 2 years ago, it was pretty clockwork, because I got a little app on my phone to track that, and then it went haywire, hardly at all. Then at the information evening, the whole thing of you can't get pregnant, well, they don't want you to get pregnant in the first year after surgery, so I decided to go on the pill. Because of previous history, I had to go onto the mini pill, and so pretty much as soon as I went onto the mini pill, I've had periods every 2 weeks, which feels like I've got it more often than not. So really looking forward to something happening with that. Number 6 is my tummy flap. Between my belly button and my pubic bone, I've got a really big roll. I wear a lot of dresses, especially in the work environment. In February, I was running an induction program, and I was running here and there was a time where I literally had to run to get a taxi chit, because my coordinator had missed it, and I heard So embarrassing, so embarrassing. So yeah, and that was my tummy flap, just absolutely kind of flapping away and making kind of the noises, which was really horrible. In line with that is that flab also tends to sit on my thighs when I'm sitting or driving. Mainly kind of hurts me when I'm driving. So that puts a lot of pressure on my legs and also causes a lot of chafing. Not going to miss the chafing. Being tired all the time is number 4. And it comes in waves, but really just not having the energy. I'd really like to be popping out of bed. I don't have kids, so this weighs into it a little bit, but popping out of bed at 8 o'clock in the morning on the weekend and going off to a gym class or running off to just be more active. So not gonna miss being tired all the time and feeling like I just want to sleep. Number 3 is my thighs. So that kind of ties back to my number 5 around my tummy. Together with my tummy flab and my thighs, I get a lot of leg pain, especially in my thighs. Driving predominantly, sitting for long periods of time. My most recent plane trip is evident of that, in the pains that I get in the legs, and it really is just the pressure. And because I've got quite big thighs, they spread out when you sit down, and if you don't have the width on your chair, then that causes more and more uncomfortableness. So my thighs, I know that in losing the weight I am going to have skin issues, and I will end up with more of the kind of flabby skin kind of stuff, but at least when it's not so full I can control that with some shapewear. I don't wear shapewear now because basically it then rolls down and is more uncomfortable than not. So yeah. Number 2 is my breast and chest area. So basically I've always been big breasted, but this whole kind of chest area holds a lot of my fat. This becomes an issue when I'm lying down, either in bed or lying down to do exercises. Sit-ups and crunchies is something that I can't do because of the suffocation in this space. So basically, gravity does its thing, it lies back, and all this kind of fat comes into the airways, and then the tummy. So basically, the movements, I just can't do them. I try, and sometimes I have to do altered ones, but just the excess there is just, it's in the way. And my husband is going to miss my boobs, but really I'd just rather have a nicer, healthier life. I've always been big boobed. I was a B in primary school, so I don't expect them to completely shrink away. So yeah. And the number one thing about that I'm not going to miss about being obese is just feeling uncomfortable all the time. More so in summer, because I get hot, I get frustrated, I get irritated. But all year round, just the not feeling comfortable in my own skin. And I've been overweight for a long time. I've been overweight for 14 years. So you'd think I'd get used to it, but it just every year it's gotten harder. And that even counts that I go back 2 years ago, 119 kilos, size 26 clothing here, which would be 22 in the US, was my kind of peak, which is 2 to 3 dress sizes away from what I am now. So at my highest, I still don't think I was any less uncomfortable than what I am at the moment. So I really do think it's a bit of kind of, as I've lost the weight and then put it back on and lost again, kind of it's redistributed in different areas, and I'm just carrying it differently. In trying on the stuff in my closet, there was a lot of kind of suit jackets and that sort of thing that I put on, and I can remember them barely being able to button. They might have been kind of like an inch away from being able to button. That just easily went on. So that was a good feeling. But yeah, the number one thing that I won't miss is being uncomfortable all the time. So I'm going to leave it there. I am going to follow this up with another video around goals and some of the things that I'm looking forward to. But for this video, that is it. Alright, see you guys.